After what happened here last night, some of the neighbors are worried and afraid.
Beverly Hills emergency?
Yes, police.
What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem?
Someone killed my parents.
Pardon me?
Someone killed my parents.
What? Who? Are they still there?
Yes.
The people...
No.
Were they shot?
Hey, man,
were they shot?
Yes.
They were shot?
Yes.
722 North Elmore.
What happened?
There was pathology in that household. Did Jose and Kitty deserve to be murdered for it? No, absolutely not. Did Erik and Lyle deserve to be sent to prison for it? Yes, absolutely.
The jury has reached guilty verdicts on first-degree murder for both brothers for the charges of killing both their mother and their father.
The jury has convicted the Menendez brothers of first-degree murder. They will spend the rest of their lives in prison.
I really can't say.
The night of August 20th, 1989, Lyle and Erik Menendez entered their family's Beverly Hills mansion armed with shotguns. Within minutes, their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, were dead, brutally killed in what was first staged as a home invasion. But as the investigation unfolded, the truth unraveled into a story of alleged long-term abuse, betrayal, and psychological torment. The brothers were convicted of first-degree murder in 1996 and sentenced to life without parole. That all changed for the brothers in May of 2025 when they were resentenced and finally granted a chance at parole. At his August 2025 hearing, which just occurred on the 21st, Erik Menendez gave a raw and remorseful account of the trauma that preceded the murders. He described his father as terrifying and spoke of the devastation he felt upon realizing his mother had known about the abuse. "I was not raised with a moral foundation," he said. "I wish to God I had not done that," speaking about killing his mother. But despite his emotional testimony, the parole board decided to deny his release, not because of the crime itself, but due to his behavior in prison, such as violent altercations like one in 1997, which was a fight described as mutual combat where Erik said he was defending himself, participation in a tax fraud scheme in 2013, which Erik claimed was coercion by prison gang threats, drug and alcohol violations, including marijuana use and homemade wine production, which Erik said stemmed from feeling miserable, contraband cell phone use, where, even though everyone in prison has a cell phone and everyone is desperate to keep up with the outside world, it is still considered a willful breach of prison rules. Inappropriate physical contact with his wife during a chapel visit, in which the commissioner stated was in front of her 9-year-old daughter. Unauthorized possession of materials include art supplies, spray paint, and misuse of state computers. The spray paint and art supplies were tools he claimed he was using for his cell just to keep him occupied and make his day a little bit easier. Barton concluded that Erik's conduct showed a willful disregard for rules and that he still posed a moderate risk to public safety. It will be 3 more years until Erik will again be eligible for parole.
The last time I saw Lyle, we were 3 o'clock in the morning and we were put in separate vans.
The interesting thing about Erik in prison is that he has really thrived, and he is become the person responsible for the prisoners that are working in the hospice unit.
Tonight, the Menendez brothers waiting to learn their fate. Erik Menendez sitting before the California Parole Board ahead of his older brother Lyle's hearing tomorrow. Earlier this year, a judge reduced Erik and Lyle's sentences, making them eligible for parole for the first time since they were convicted of killing their parents, Jose and Kitty, in their Beverly Hills home 36 years ago. At today's hearing, Erik joining virtually from his prison outside San Diego, during which a panel of commissioners are expected to be questioning him about the crimes and his record in prison, and also looking at tens of thousands of pages of prison records, as well as a psychological risk assessment conducted about the brothers. According to the LA District Attorney, psychologists determined they have a moderate risk of violence, finding Erik remains vulnerable to the influence of others, including his brother, Lyle, who they described as narcissistic and antisocial. Tonight, the board expected to soon decide whether to grant Erik parole, a consequential decision that could pave the way for the brothers' freedom.
right, that breaking news we've just learned: parole denied for Erik Menendez after a day-long parole hearing that lasted 10 hours.
Commissioners make their recommendation. Erik Menendez should remain in prison for the murders of his mother and father. That recommendation just came down right now.
A photo of Erik Menendez at the parole hearing today, if we could put that up, and tell you as well, there he is. He testified for several hours there today. Robert Kovacic live outside the Richard Donovan Correctional Facility. Robert, again, this decision coming down within the past 5 minutes. What are you hearing out there?
The commissioner speaking: we certainly did not give this case short shrift. We probably spent 4 times more than we do on our usual average here. This is a tragic case. I agree that not only 2, but 4 people were lost in this family. That is what members of the relatives had said about this. And as we look this over, another thing to highlight here is the minimal denial is 3 years. So that means that Erik Menendez cannot go before a parole board again for 3 years. Erik's role in the second burglary was a factor. They went throughout this case and looked at the violations before the murders were committed, and then they looked at the murders themselves, and then they looked at the violations inside of prison, and they spent a lot of time with that. Erik Menendez's summation to the 2 parole commissioners done remotely, he said, "I just want my family to understand that I am so unimaginably sorry for what I have put them through August 20th, 1989 until this day and this hearing." Erik went on to say, and Colleen and Michael, I believe this is the very last thing he said: "Don't think it's the healing of me, it's the healing of the family. This is a family tragedy." And then we have this quote here, this from LA County Deputy District Attorney Habib Balian: "When what you have done is shotgun your parents to death, deleted any competing wills, taken their money, spent their money, you're a violent person." We were cautioned by the family, we were cautioned by the Deputy District Attorney Nathan Hochman that this was going to be a major uphill battle for both the Menendez brothers, starting with Erik today and Lyle tomorrow, to try and get parole the first time out. As far as Erik is concerned, when the decision was read, he listened intently, nodding, but clearly, visibly hurt by the decision.
This statement here from the family of Erik and Lyle Menendez, and we're quoting here: "While we respect the decision, today's outcome was, of course, disappointing and not what we hoped for, but our belief in Erik remains unwavering, and we know he will take the board's recommendation in stride."
His remorse, growth, and the positive impact he's had on others speak for themselves. We will continue to stand by him and hold the hope that he is able to return home soon.
Tomorrow, we turn our attention to Lyle's hearing, and while it is undoubtedly difficult, we remain cautiously optimistic and hopeful that the commissioner will see in Lyle what so many others have: a man who has taken responsibility, transformed his life, and is ready to come home.